Hi, I'm Vanessa from Premier Tax Solutions, and in this video I'm going to look at the 5 common payroll mistakes that we see. One common mistake that people make when they run their own payroll is they don't notice it's been somebody's birthday. National minimum wage varies according to different age bands, so if you forget to spot it's somebody's birthday and they've gone up a band, then you could be paying them less than national minimum wage. Also, when an employee reaches 22, they may need to be opted into an auto-enrolment workplace pension, so keep an eye out for that one too. The second mistake that we see quite often is people deducting costs from pay, and it takes them below the national minimum wage. Many employers accidentally breach the national minimum wage rules by making deductions. These can be things like making deductions for goods or costs of training and different things that have been added in. Employers need to put right any underpayment for national minimum wage going back up to 6 years if they've underpaid an employee, so it can get really expensive. So if you've got any staff on national minimum wage, make sure that if you're doing any deductions, it doesn't take them below that threshold. If you've got salary sacrifice in place, then it means that an employee can swap their cash for a benefit at work. This could be in the form of pension contributions or something like the Cycle to Work scheme. If that person is on or just above national minimum wage, then they shouldn't be in any salary sacrifice scheme. The national minimum wage rules mean that somebody that's in a salary sacrifice can't actually go below the national minimum wage threshold. HMRC name and shame employers, no matter how big or small they are, for breaching national minimum wage, so you don't want to be on that list. The third mistake that we see is employers not setting up an auto-enrolment workplace pension. We have in our time come across employers that have said that they sorted out the auto-enrolment pension scheme, but in actual fact they hadn't, and they got into a spot of bother with the pensions regulator. If you employ at least one person, then you're an employer, and that means you've got certain legal duties that you must adhere to. If an employee works in the UK, they're between 22 and state pension age, and they earn more than 10k a year, looking at the 22 to 23 tax year, and they're not already in a suitable pension scheme, then they should be opted in to an auto-enrolment pension scheme. The fourth mistake we see is employers saying that one of their employees has opted out of the pension scheme, but they were never formally enrolled in the first place. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but somebody needs to have opted in the first place to be able to opt out of a pension scheme. So it doesn't wash when an employer says, oh, they just opted out of a pension scheme. A few years ago we came across somebody that said that their staff had opted out of a pension scheme. They'd never formally opted in the first place, and so everything had to be backdated, and it cost that employer £12,000 to put things right. And the fifth mistake that we see is employers miscalculating pay. Miscalculating pay can be damaging to employees' morale, and it's really frustrating. Not to mention the time that you as the employer would spend putting things right. Common examples include forgetting to add new starters or leavers, under or overpaying employees, deducting the wrong amount for benefits or other deductions, and using a wrong tax code. So if any of these examples are something that you're worried about, don't worry. We've got a team that does payroll and we can help with all these things, so get in touch today. Thanks for watching.